your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
All right, on the satellite and radar picture tonight, things are nice and calm here, but what we are watching is what's happening out to the west. Storm system approaching, and we'll get here tomorrow and bring us a pretty good chance of showers and storms. And boy, can you pick out where the cold front is? Yeah, pretty easy. Davenport, 67. Des Moines, 40. Those two cities aren't that far from each other. There's the cold front right there. That's going to come in here. Locally, it's still in the upper 60s. Feels great. But as we head into the day tomorrow, we've got those thunderstorms, but at least the temperatures are nice. We're in the mid-70s. What we're going to track is this line right here. And whether or not we could see severe weather with it, we'll do that when we come back. WCIA3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
One fire department has been hit with a COVID-19 outbreak. How other departments are preparing in case it happens to them. And there's some good news on the search for a vaccine, but even though we're closer to finding one, there's still a long way to go. And it was a horrific event that killed dozens decades ago. Why some say learning about the past could help shape our present.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
It kind of became rampant throughout the firehouse.
COVID-19 has infected a dozen firefighters in Springfield, and tonight we're telling you how fire departments across central Illinois are handling the potential for the same to happen to them. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. Paul's off tonight. The coronavirus outbreak at the Springfield Fire Department has 37 firefighters isolated or quarantined. This pandemic has forced other departments to prepare in case exposure happens in their areas. WCIA3's Jennifer Jensen is live in the newsroom. So Jennifer, a lot of Springfield firefighters out. How are they handling this?
Jessica, the chief says despite the big setback, the department is still running on a full staff. But with fewer firefighters available, they're racking up overtime. I spoke with other departments in central Illinois to see what they're doing to prepare if a similar situation happens. The coronavirus outbreak within the Springfield Fire Department was traced back to a house party. Now, 5 days later after exposure, 12 firefighters have tested positive, including the chief.
Once you get 2 or 3 positives, now you have to look back through contact tracing to find out who worked with who, what calls they ran together, and we've done that over the last few days. And you know, at one point we were at 48. Pretty quickly, we got that number down to 37.
The State Fire Marshal's office shares daily stats on how COVID-19 has affected departments in Illinois.
Since March 17th, there's been 2,039 firefighters that have been directly affected by this COVID-19 virus. And that affects 182 fire departments across the state of Illinois. And those numbers include firefighters that have either been placed into quarantine or have tested positive.
In June, a Champaign firefighter had to isolate after testing positive for COVID-19. 12 other firefighters self-quarantined as well. The department has made adjustments to adapt to the health and safety risks since the pandemic started.
We're doing symptom-based checks in the morning before they enter the workplace. We're obviously wearing masks and staying socially distanced within the department.
Smaller villages like Tolono have a volunteer department. They also have made changes to operations.
Not as many responders will go inside of a house for your average medical call. It may just be 1 or 2.
With 19 firefighters on their force, they can't afford a significant loss in staff.
We've got contingency plans set up with mutual aid departments, such as like Savoy. We're in constant contact with their administrative team as well, consistently talking about, staffing levels.
Both large and small fire departments have similar plans for coronavirus outbreaks. If they can't make up for a loss in staff with their own firefighters, they say they have agreements with nearby departments for mutual aid. In the newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thank you so much. Turning now to the latest COVID-19 numbers, the state's positivity rate has jumped to 11.4%. Region 3 is at 14.4% and Region 6 at 11.3%. More than 10,000 cases were announced today. More than 4,400 people are in the hospital, 857 in the ICU, 376 are on ventilators. 14 more people have died, including 3 in central Illinois. That total is now more than 10,200 deaths. Experts say one possible COVID-19 vaccine looks promising. It was developed by Pfizer. They say it looks about 90% effective. It requires 2 doses. You'd get 1 shot, then wait a bit before the second, and that second one is considered the booster. While this is good progress, we're still months away from everyone getting access.
We've never done anything like this with this speed and at this scale. Many of these candidates, including the Pfizer vaccine candidate, these are new technologies that have never really been manufactured at this scale before.
So when could we get access to that vaccine? Experts say maybe next summer. It will first go to people working the front lines and then trickle down to everyone else. In the meantime, health departments across the state are trying to keep track of those who could have been exposed, and that means they need contact tracers. Champaign, Macon, and Effingham counties are looking to fill those positions. We have their links on WCIA.com. Champaign School District is working on a plan to get middle and high school students back in the classrooms this January. The district is considering remote mornings and in-person classes Tuesday through Friday afternoons. Officials are trying to block out 8 periods every day to keep things consistent. They would not use a traditional A-B schedule.
Both schedules that are proposed have teachers spending more time interacting with kids, whether it's in person or distance. And I think that's something to be proud of, what our teams have done.
Students across the board would be remote on Mondays, and this would keep schedules in line with pre-K and elementary schools that started in-person learning late last month. The State Board of Education has released its 2020 report card, and some key measurements are missing or incomplete because of COVID-19. Data shows the class of 2020 took more AP exams and earned a higher pass rate than the previous year. It also shows more than 2,000 teachers joined the workforce, and the state held a retention rate of 86%. The report card is missing data on topics like state assessments and attendance. New at 10, today marks the 82nd anniversary of Kristallnacht, a series of attacks against Jewish people in Nazi Germany and annexed Austria. The deadly violence made headlines across the world, including in papers here in central Illinois. Hundreds of synagogues were destroyed and more than 90 people were killed. UIUC's Hillel is hosting 2 days of Holocaust education programming to mark this anniversary. This comes as new studies show a growing number of young adults know very little about the Holocaust.
If you understand how hate can manifest into violence, then you are more likely to sit down and try to understand the person in front of you before making judgment. And we're trying to promote a more understanding atmosphere on our campus.
Today and tomorrow, 2 historians from Poland are sharing their efforts to memorialize a concentration camp that the Nazis tried to burn any evidence of. We've shared a link to sign up for the second day's virtual event on WCIA.com. The U of I is spearheading a $2 million project for cybersecurity. There's a national shortage of cybersecurity professionals across the country, so a team is creating an education program for the Critical Infrastructure Resilience Institute. They'll develop standard curriculum to be used at schools across the U.S.
What this project's addressing is a skill shortage, essentially. So what the kind of labour market stats tell us is that within about a year or two, there'll be 3.5 million jobs in this whole area of cybersecurity.
The plan is to develop that program within 1 year. U of I is collaborating with Purdue, Auburn, and the University of Tulsa on that project. It's almost 1 week after the election, but one county is still counting ballots where winners still need to be declared. Plus, today she's the vice president-elect, but years ago, some in Champaign called her neighbor. And it's a first in a decade. What list Illini basketball just made?